Well, thanks to Benjamin Zephaniah, and something certainly is being done. Dr. Mark Porter joins us now to talk about this, because the pilot scheme, it's been tried out, hasn't it, in other areas?
That's one of... There are 8 other pilots, I mean, going right from Devon and Cornwall to Yorkshire and Cleveland.
What kind of results are they seeing?
The results in Cleveland are simply astonishing. When the mental health nurse went out with the police to avoid people having to be removed to a place of safety, just 12 out of 371 people needed it. Oh. When the mental health nurse wasn't there during the same period, there were 224 brought in. So that just shows the scale. 20-fold difference. It works.
And we didn't see any examples in the film, but children are also affected by this section 136.
Yeah, of the Mental Health Act. I mean, the youngest I know is 14, but I think there are about 300 a year under the age of 18, so it's an issue right across the spectrum.
And what else needs to be done, Mark? I mean, from your perspective,
well, I think it's important to point out that the very nature of mental health illness, as we heard there, that not everybody wants to engage in the same way that they might engage with healthcare professionals if they had a broken leg. So some of these crises are always going to be played out in public, but there's much more we can do to intervene early. And perhaps if we could help someone with depression before they got to the stage where they were standing on the bridge, we wouldn't have a problem. And Norman Lamb, the Care and Support Minister, is very aware of the problem. He says it's a top priority. Yeah. And they've put nearly £450 million, nearly £500 million into improving access to psychological services. But I've got to say, you know, there's a lot of ground to make up. This is still, I don't know about you, Richard, but I mean, the perception still is that there's this gulf between physical and mental illness, and that mental illnesses are different, they're less sensitive, they're less serious, and they're less of a priority, really.
Yeah, it's always been a huge priority for Comic Relief. We're in this project called Time to Change, which is all about public attitudes. And, you know, they do say 1 in 4 of us will experience some kind of mental illness. Certainly I have. And I think it's a massively important issue. And the more it can be raised and the more practical experiments can be done and the more it can be taken out of the shadows.
Yeah, and I guess then the less stigma that's then attached to those who do have problems, they can talk about it, and then we can help them, because it's very difficult to know the situation. If there's somebody there, I mean, how do you cope? It's very...
The setup in the NHS and the police, to some extent, simply reflects a lot of the attitudes in society. This has been a Cinderella for too long, and we need to bring it to the fore. It'd be unacceptable with someone who had epilepsy, who had a seizure, was taken to a police cell for up to 3 days afterwards. And it's not going to happen, but you know what I mean.
No, but the cutbacks in the mental health provision must mean that that's why there's more people on the streets that end up in these police cells.
Exactly. I mean, in England, there's been a 2% cut in real terms over the last 2 years, and there wasn't a lot to spare in the first place.
No.
And they're really feeling the pinch. So we need more resources, as always, with these things.
Well, Mark, thanks ever so much for coming in. And if you need more information on anything that we've just spoken about, what you saw in the film there, just go to the One Show website.
Yes. Now, our next film is all about showbiz agents, Richard, sometimes called the 10%ers, although these days some take a bigger cut than that, don't you?
Deathly silence. Anyway, here's Anita Land, an agent from a real showbiz family with some trade secrets.
Hello, Anita Land office.
Showbiz agents are the deal makers of the entertainment industry. Behind every star, there's someone navigating their career and pulling the strings. Like me, they operate out of the spotlight to find their clients' work, manage the highs and lows of their careers, and ideally make them millions before taking a cut. I've been in the entertainment industry for 25 years. I make my living negotiating deals for top performers and broadcasters. I'm what's known in the business as a 10%er. So how important do you think an agent is to an artist's career?
An agent is absolutely vital. It controls the blood flow of the art, because they're the ones that find the person to suggest to audition for a major role or even a minor role.
Show business runs in my family. My dad, Leslie Grade, was an agent in the 40s and 50s, and my uncle, Lou Grade, launched Sunday Night at the London Palladium, one of the biggest shows on TV at the time. Everyone who was anyone was on their books.
When you think of Lou and Leslie Grade, the Grade Agency, they were the pinnacle of everything that was basically show business in this country. They seemed to be the agents for everybody.
One of the unsung legends of the agency business was Billy Marsh. He worked with my family and taught my brother, Michael Grade, the secrets of the trade.
Billy had one expression he always used to say: do anything for them, he said, but never put their coats on for them or carry their bags.
I love that expression.
He said, because you end up being subservient.
Yeah.
It should be a relationship of equals. They need to respect you, otherwise they won't listen.
It was Billy Marsh who got Bruce Forsyth his big break as the compere of Sunday Night at the London Palladium.
I was with
dreadful agent before, Billy. He had me signed to life like a servant that you couldn't get rid of. It was bad.
What kind of qualities for you do you look for in an agent?
Well, it was looking far ahead, always looking for what was the best for you. Is the money right? And talking about should they go a bit further to see if they could squeeze the people a bit more for a bit more money. You do work up a personal relationship with them, which is very, very important.
So it's a bit like a double act in a way, isn't it?
Yes, but I get all the laughs. Remember that.
Bruce and Billy's professional relationship lasted until Billy's death in 1995, but such loyalty is rare in this often cutthroat business.
There's always competition between agents. There's more competition to keep a client, because if you have a bad run with a client, all the others around, dispensing what in the dressing room, what we used to call the unhappy pill. And you go into the dressing room and say, your agent must come every night. So, actually, I haven't seen my agent for 3 weeks. And you must be making a fortune here this week. Well, funny enough, no. You keep slipping them the unhappy pill. Eventually you get a phone call. Can I meet up with you? I'm really thinking of changing it. Would you be interested, Andy? But of course that works in reverse, because you can lose clients that way as well.
My father Leslie had no need of the unhappy pill when he signed Palladium regular Cliff Richard in the early 60s.
Every time I ever come here, even to see a show, there's no time that I don't think of your dad. Right, all of you actually, but your dad obviously comes. Oh, this was the Holy of Holies, and the man who brought us here was Leslie, your dad. You know, sometimes you can make you feel like I'm just a widget in someone else's money machine. He never made us feel. I never felt like that with him at all.
Today, Cliff mostly manages his own career and recognises that times have changed since my father's day.
I sometimes feel sorry, for instance, for some of these fantastic singers that come out of X Factors. Even the losers are good. But are they getting supported the way your dad supported us? And so I just feel that we had actually the best of times, absolutely the most wonderful of times. I'm just hoping it's all cyclical.
Show business has changed dramatically since my father's era, but one thing will always be the same. Behind every talent there will be an agent making the deals and taking their 10%.
You say, what would we be without them, Al? What would we?
Wow.
Anyway, Richard, we were
Good
just
question.
saying that Comic Relief Night wouldn't be Comic Relief Night without
No,
the
I mean,
agents.
there was a wonderful agent called Alison Cresswell, and Comic Relief would hardly exist without his gentle bullying. And, of course, he took 10% of nothing.
Well,
So, I think there are some really characterful and fantastic agents around still. In 20 years, they'll be showing a film about the guys who are around now.
Oh, no, for sure, I agree. Now, earlier on, we asked you to recreate some iconic Richard Curtis film scenes. So,
there we go.
There we go. Well, let's do Bridget Jones, first of all.
Okay.
Are you there?
Okay, so this
There
is
we are.
Boris, who's gone all Bridget Jones.
It's very difficult to tell which
It's
which,
which,
isn't it?
Which one?
I mean, nearly identical. All right.
Marvellous. What do you want to do now? Because you've got that many
do
things.
the father and son,
Oh, father
maybe.
and son, yeah, from Love Actually. There we are. Look, so there's the original scene.
Okay,
And...
and here is Mick and Nathan from Doncaster.
Which one's the father?
It gets better. Here we go. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that.
Christian and John Joseph
That is
recreated the
so
same pose. Oh, that's
sweet.
really cute, isn't
I hope
it?
he hasn't got love problems already.
Aww.
What about this way? So obviously, we asked if there's any kind of natural Mr. Beans out there to send in a photo of yourself, and we haven't been disappointed.
Well, brace yourself.
Yes!
James Meredith's friends always tell his dad that he's a dead ringer for Mr. Bean, and he is, isn't he?
There we go. Right. Now, we know, and we said earlier on, Richard, that table tennis plays a big part in About Time. So come on over here,
Yes.
because you're going to love this. Here we go, Al.
Now then, 6 people can play this game of table tennis, or even up to 12 people. I'll slot in here, maybe.
There
Can
we
I
are,
take
Richard.
your
You can come all the
bat?
way around here.
Great.
And,
Okay.
take
Oh,
it around
I
there.
wasn't ready.
There we are, sir. There we go. Grab that bat and join in.
my God.
So Richard, why is table
Go on,
tennis
Richard.
such a big part of the film?
I always used to play it with my dad, and he always let me win for 20 years.
Oh, that was good practice. That's
Oh,
very
here
good.
we are. OK, go.
Not good at all.
With this, I mean, believe it or not, it's very similar
this
to the
is
normal
brilliant.
table tennis game. The idea is you can have up to 12 players around you. Watch the tower behind you there, Richard. Yeah, you can have
Oh,
up to
sorry,
12
I'm not
players.
very good.
You can only do 2 shots and then you have to swap over. So, Kareem, I'm now going to have a go at you, my friend. So here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Come on, Matt.
Is it?
There we go. Good. Now, the idea is to get a table like this. Into every single primary school, in the UK. But you'd be...
Are the rules the same as normal table tennis?
No,
No, it's different.
All right, well, we haven't got time to go into that. But it looks great. It looks like a lot of fun.
Kareem, as we look down here, it's like a massive orange segment. What happens if we go over the white line? Nothing, or...?
Nothing, you just carry on playing and just...
Yeah, your opponent has to take over.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't.
You're only allowed to play it to the same player twice. Otherwise, you have to play it to another person.
Come on then, Kareem. Let's
Richard, with a
crack on.
family of
What have you got?
6, this is perfect for
It's
you.
absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant.
Well, there we are.
The one show clearly means you're going to get 1 point out of
Yeah,
every 20.
there we are. Well, that's about time. That's it.
Well, that is it for today. Big thank you, of course, to Richard Curtis.
Thank you, Richard.
About Time is out on DVD now.
Tomorrow, we're going to be joined by Lee Mack and Wayne Sleep, so get the ballet shoes on and see you tomorrow. Good
See you
night.
then. Bye. Right. OK, who's got the ball?
Right.